Yo, we're back with Pokemon Journeys, episode 44, Sword and Shield 3, Eternatus. Alright, so we pick up where we left off. Macrocosmos Goons attacks Raboot, so Go and Raboot finish it off, and I'm really glad we got to see Raboot run along with its Max Knuckle. The problem I've had with Dynamax battles is that they still feel very static, so that was good. This is also the first battle against another person we see Go win on screen too, because you know he won against a Karate Master, but they skipped that. Go and Sonia investigate the statue, finding out that they belong to a Pokemon called Zacian and Zamazenta. Go recalls that he saw Zamazenta too. I really do like Go sharing his experience in the Slumbering World with Sonia though, it's pretty neat. I do wish that Sonia was the one to kind of like piece the legend together instead of Go though. Feels like it kind of robs her of something to do, but I don't have the time to dwell on it anyway since they run back to the car as more goons attack. Ash is on his way to Stow one side, Leon is in the power plant. Go gives Ash a call to inform him about Zacian and Zamazenta and their link to the Darkest Day, and the now known two heroes. And they're going to be off to the Slumbering World to go search for Zacian and Zamazenta. I like that they overlay Go's speech about the Darkest Day restarting coinciding with Leon finding Eternatus' chamber, where it fires a big beam of energy to the air, and that causes Ash to head straight to Hammerlock, while of course Sonia and Go head to the Slumbering World to look for legendary dogs or wolves or whatever. And that's a weird twist to the games, since there it's you and Hop who go to find it, so Ash and Go would make sense. But hey, I mean it's fine that they do it with Go and Sonia. Leon's suspicions that Rose's link to the Dynamax Pokemon rampages are confirmed, as Eternatus breaks itself out of the chamber. Oh yeah, something to note about Eternatus. It's CGI. It looks fine, but it's pretty jarring in comparison to all the drawn characters. Team Rocket attack Eternatus, as they're there for it, but of course they don't do anything, and Meowth is hit by a beam, and Gigantamaxes, and I've got to be honest, I'm really upset didn't get to do much. He attacks Jesse, James and Wobbuffet, because he's out of control, but that's sort of it after Ash arrives. He just lets Meowth chase them. I hope something more comes out of this later. But hey, there's no Gacha machine, so that's a plus. The legendaries reveal themselves to Sonia and Go, leading them further into the Slumbering World, to the shrine where the rusted sword and shield lay. I just really love the atmosphere of this scene, and it sort of makes up for the fact that Sonia got shafted out of putting the legends together, because in game she didn't see the legendaries. So here, she gets to see the things she's been researching the whole game. Or show, in this case, I guess. Sadly, Dragonite get hit by a Dynamax cannon, and Ash has to recall it. He and Leon are now in Hammerlock Stadium together. Rose gives him a rundown about Eternatus, a Pokemon of infinite energy. So here comes a bit I was most curious how they were going to handle. Rose brings up their many discussions of Gallo's future with Leon, but Rose doesn't have something like the League to be pressed about like in the games. In the games, it was established that Rose was someone who wanted to mend stuff as soon as he's worried about it, which is why he wanted to force Leon's hand. Here they just say it'll be near future rather than 1,000 years. And Gallo particles can be used, so with Eternatus, it's not a problem. So he's basically raising and using young trainers like Leon in order to capture and control Eternatus, so it won't be making other Pokemon go on Dynamax rampages. And that's such an interesting take to me, because it totally recontextualizes Rose's talk with Ash last episode, because obviously what happens once, say, Leon dies of old age? What happens to Eternatus? He's fostering the next generation already. To add some more layers, it's sort of implied his father died in a mining accident, which would understandably wreck him, so Eternatus is sort of his solution to ensure there won't be any more suffering. Of course, Leon agrees to capture it, but purely to put a cease to what it's already done, and wow, that is such a great moment for showing how great a champion Leon is. His plan isn't to do what Rose wants to do though, he wants to seal it back up. Rose says that it's Copperajah, and I love that Ash just steps up here to deal with Rose, so Leon can be undistracted in dealing with Eternatus, and Ash is doing it for all the innocent Pokemon. Sonia and Go arrive. Sonia gets Go to leave and help Ash, and it looks like she's about to fight the Macrocosmos goons. But man, Ryan comes in to save her. I do love this, but it also does bother me that we don't see Sonia sending something out. She was a gym challenger, so her teaming up with Raihan would have been really cool to see, especially because they're both pretty closely linked with Leon. Inside the stadium, Oleana stops Go, and he'll be stepping up to battle her, and that's the end of the episode. So I think that this is probably the episode of the arc I like the least, but that's not to say I dislike it or anything. I like the anime's take on Rose's backstory leading into his plans to save Gallo's future. I don't know if in the near future thing was in the Japanese version of Sword and Shield, but I think that might fix an issue people had with the game's story. And I guess the main thing for me here is that it feels like Sonia could have done more here, but mainly in regards to the fact that she should have been one to piece together the story of the original Darkest Day, Gallo's two heroes, in tandem with Zacian and Zamazenta. And again, I'd have loved to see her actually join the battle with Raihan. She looked like she was ready to fight, and it feels like she should probably have Pokemon on her anyway. Meowth not really doing much while Gigantamax was disappointing. It was a big part of the next episode preview, and it's just sort of there. And it feels like next episode will be packed anyway, so we're probably not going to get any more substantial bits from this beyond chasing Team Rocket around. At the very least, I hope this plays into the trio obtaining a Dynamax band, so they can still use it in the future. Oh, and hey, there's actually a plus to this still. Meowth is more mobile than like 100% of Dynamax Pokemon in this show. Other than that, everything is just pretty solid. As I've kind of outlined already, I like the take on Rose, while Ash and Leon both continue to be pretty great. Leon more so than anyone, honestly. He's got an amazing attitude. I just love how they portray him. He feels like someone who really does care about the Galar region, but that's contrasts very well with the way Rose cares about it. They both have kind of a different approach to it. Ash still has his usual, do what's good for Pokemon attitude. When he saw that something was up at Hammerlock, he was there as soon as possible, and staying up to Rose so Leon could go deal with Eternatus? Great. I kind of like that we have a parallel of Ash going after Eternatus while Go is off after the legendary Wolfdog things. That's just really cool to me. So I guess it makes sense that I enjoyed this release. It's putting the pieces into their final places before the climax, and you know what? I'd say this episode did a great job at that. So yeah, I enjoyed this episode a lot, and I'm very excited for the finale of the arc.